Hello friends, welcome back to Kasthuri E-Learning Hub. Hope you are learning well and revising well for your exams. Here I am with the 12th lesson of the Telangana State Intermediate English textbook, that is the dinner party. The author of this story is Mona Gardner. Let me just tell a few words about the writer. Mona Gardner is an American author. She had her story, The Dinner Party, published in the Saturday Review of Literature in 1941. Yeah. So here let's get into this story. What exactly is this party about? Generally party is about all enjoyment, all masti, galata, all this we do in the party. Let's see what is there in this dinner party. Let's get started. The country is India. So this has happened in India. That is India in the sense, this is in the before the freedom time. Yeah. The country is India. A colonial office means maybe a Britisher. A colonial office and his wife are giving a large dinner party. The colonial office, a British officer, is giving a party. Okay. Officer and his wife are giving a party. They are giving the party. Yeah. And then they are giving the party. They are seated with their guests, army officers and government attaches and their wives and a visiting American naturalist in the spacious dining room. Big guests, very VVIPs, all very high position people have all come for the party, which has a bare marble floor, open rafters, in the sense the roof is of rafts, and wide glass doors opening onto a veranda. There is a glass door. Okay, so this is a scene, and there is a veranda. That means this is the shed, and there is a windows are there, and there is a veranda. Okay, here is the veranda. You can imagine that. Okay, here the guests are there. You can see that in the picture in the story also. There is a table over there and all the people are around it. Okay, so that is how the scene is. A spirited discussion springs up between a young girl who insists that women have outgrown the jumping on a chair at a sight of a mouse era, and a colonel who says that they haven't. So there is an argument. Argument means not a big fighting sort of argument, not a quarrel. The woman is telling that women have come beyond it. They have started being very brave and courageous. They are not shouting. Generally, when women or girls look at a cockroach or a rat, they scream, they shout. Everyone thinks as if some atom bomb came and fell there. But there is nothing. There is just a small creature, maybe a lizard or a cockroach. So she says that nowadays women are getting very brave. They are not shouting, looking at small things. They are handling the situation, says that girl. And there is a colonel who says, no, they are the same way. They are even now screaming. They are very covered. They are very timid people. He says there is a small argument going on. A woman's unfailing reaction in any crisis, the colonel says, is to scream. He says women are always prone to screaming, and while a man may feel like it, he has that ounce more nerve control than a woman has, and that last ounce is what counts. Yes, he says, yes, men are also scared, but they can control their emotions. They don't shout like women, he says, the colonel says. The American does not join in the argument. The American is not joining, is just watching, but watches the other guest. As he looks, he sees a strange expression come over the face of the hostess. What do you mean by hostess? One who is hosting. Hosting is the wife, hostess. Host means that is the officer. That is masculine gender, this is feminine gender. Hostess is the wife of the colonel, of the colonial officer. Yeah. As he looks, he sees a strange expression come over the face of the hostess. She is staring straight ahead, her muscles contracting slightly. She appears as though she is very tensed. With a slight gesture, she summons the native boy standing behind her chair and whispers to him. So what she says is, she is not moving, she is in a tensed condition. She is just giving the signal to the boy. That is a native boy, means that Indian boy. There is a servant in the house. She is giving signals to that boy and she is telling something in his ears, that is whispering. The boy's eyes widen. He is immediately shocked. Widen means becoming big. That is, he is shocked. That means that is some shocking news. He quickly leaves the room. He immediately goes. Of the guests, none except the American notices this or sees the boy place a bowl of milk on the veranda just outside the open doors. Now everyone is busy in their own talking, chatting, gossiping, in the party, laughing, making fun, all this they were all doing. But this American is just observing, and he is observing the hostess now, and what he saw is the boy who went. He went and brought a bowl of milk and kept in the veranda. Now let's see what happens. The American comes to a start. He starts thinking. In India, milk in a bowl means only one thing. Bait for a snake. Bait for a snake means something which attracts somebody is called a bait. Okay, so if they want to catch snake, they put the milk. That is called the bait. Okay, if they want to catch a tiger, they'll put the goat or sheep. That is a bait. Okay, so he knows that in India, they keep the bowl of milk. That is how they catch the snake. So it is going to attract the snake. So he could sense there is something related to snake happening over here. That's what he could guess. And then he realizes that there must be a cobra in the room. So he realized there is definitely a snake over here. He looks up at the rafters. He looked at the roof. The likeliest place, but they are bare. There were no snakes in the roof. Three corners of the room are empty, neither in the corners. Generally snakes, they are in the roofs or in the corners. Both the places they are not there. And in the fourth, the servants were waiting to serve the next course. All the four corners, it was not there. There is only one place left, under the table. So he thought it might be under the table. His first impulse is to jump back and warn the others, but he knows the commotion would frighten the cobra into striking. So firstly, that is the first impulse, first reaction. What he wanted to do is he wanted to shout and warn everyone to be alert and to be careful because there is a cobra in the room. But he knows for sure if he tells that, everyone would scream, go here and there, make a big confusion, and this may make the snake bite someone. He did not want this confusion, so he did not warn anyone. He speaks quickly, the tone of his voice so arresting that it sobers everyone. But he made some idea in his mind and he started speaking. What is that idea? Let us see.
I just want to know what control everyone at this table has. I will count to 300, that is, 3 minutes, and not one of you is to move a muscle. Those who move will forfeit 50 rupees.
Now they were talking about the control, that is women are out of control, they scream and all, men are full of control. So he used the same dialogue, the same concept, and he said, let us see who has more control. He said, he gave a challenge to the people. I will count to 300. That's 5 minutes, and not one of you is to move a muscle. Those who move will forfeit 50 rupees. Ready? So he is making an open challenge. Now look, I will count till 300. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. I will count till 300. Till he finishes counting 300, no one is supposed to move. If anyone moves, they have to pay 50 rupees as a penalty because they have lost the challenge. That is what the deal was. And then all of them agreed for the deal because we all love challenges, isn't it? The 20 people sit like stone images. Everyone became like a statue. While he counts, he is saying 280. When out of the corner is the corner of his eye, he sees a cobra emerge and make for the bowl of milk. Screams ring out as he jumps to slam the veranda doors safely shut. So now he knows that cobra is there somewhere for sure. He was waiting for the cobra to come out. When everyone is silent, naturally the cobra will think no one is there, and automatically the cobra came out. And he saw the cobra going towards the milk bowl. This cobra is going towards the milk bowl. Where is the milk bowl? It is in the veranda. Yeah, it is in the veranda. and the snake, the cobra is going towards that side. Okay, it's moving towards that side. And when the cobra was going towards the veranda, he was the first one to see. And when all the others saw, those who were in the statue mode, when all the others saw, they started shouting, screaming, jumping, running and everything. And then what he did, he carefully let the cobra go till the veranda and he closed the door. Once the cobra went here, he closed the door. Now everyone was safe over there. And then, "You were right, Colonel," the host exclaims. "A man has just shown us an example of perfect control." The host means the colonial officer said, "Yes, you were right." He is telling the colonel who said that men are full of control. Look at that American man. He was full of control. Though he knew there was a cobra in the room, he did not make any sort of confusion. How controlled he was. He was hiding his panic and he was full of control. So he said, "You are right. The man is full of control," he said. "Just a minute," the American says, turning to his hostess. "Mrs. Wines, how did you know that a cobra was in the room?" Now, the American knows that he was not the first one to identify. It was the hostess who had identified. So he said, "Oh dear hostess, Mrs. Wines," that is the host of the party are Wines. The Wines family had given the party. Okay, so he is asking Mrs. Wines how she made out that there was a cobra in the room. A faint smile lights up the woman's face as she replies, "Because it was crawling across my foot." So he says, "How will I ever not know? It was crawling on my foot. Come on." That means, who was the most controlled person? Is it the American or is it the hostess? Yes, the winner of the competition was the hostess. Though she knew, though the cobra was crawling on her feet, she never made any panicking situation. She was completely under control. So this is what the story is all about. This is about gender equality, and to avoid these general statements, women are scared, women are covered, not of that sort. It depends on every individual how they react to the situation. We should never generalize the statements depending, at least not on the base of gender. So that is what this dinner party tells us. Come on, let's get into the question and answers. What is the argument at the beginning of the story? So what is the argument? The argument is that women have outgrown the scary emotions and they have become courageous. And the other one argues that men are more controlled than the women and that women are still scared of dangers. They overreact to the dangerous or the small silly events. A strange expression comes over the face of the hostess because she had the experience of a snake crawling on her feet. What does the hostess ask the boy to do? Why? The hostess asks the boy to get a bowl of milk and keep it in the veranda. Why? Because she knew that the snakes are attracted to milk and they can get rid of the snake by keeping the milk in the veranda and they can chase it away. What makes the naturalist think that there must be a cobra in the room? He knows for sure that in India, milk in a bowl means only one thing, that is bait for the snake. That is how he could understand that there is a cobra in the room. The cobra comes out because it is frightened by the guests, attracted by the milk, awakened by the sound of the American counting. What's the answer? It is attracted by the milk. The tone of this voice so arresting. Why? The tone of his voice so arresting. Why? The tone of his voice was so arresting because he was full of frightened situation. He was completely scared. He was trying to control his emotions. Who is Mrs. Wines? Mrs. Wines is the hostess, that is the wife of the colonial officer, or she is the hostess of the party. So this is what we have understood in this lesson. Hope this session was useful to you in revising for your exams. Thank you for watching and have a great day ahead.